When I have a good day, it is amazing. I actually feel weird because I'm not in pain.
If I need a rest day, I have a rest day, and I don't make myself feel bad for it.
I think I would just sort of say appreciate the good days more and be kind to yourself on the bad days.
There's a depth of anger towards the illness that I have that I tend to channel.
It would be great just to not feel tired, sick, pain, just be able to be happy with life and not have to worry about that.
It's going to be okay. That's the most important thing. To believe in yourself, you know what's going on.
When I have good days, it can be a bit overwhelming. It kind of catches you by surprise. I haven't had any pain this morning, and I'm like, oh, it's so nice.
Feels fabulous. You rejoice, really, when you have a good day.
And it comes back, but then I just go be thankful for the half day I've had where I didn't have to have pain.
If I can have one good day, maybe there's more good days to come.
Endometriosis is a disease where endometrial tissue grows outside the uterus into other parts of the body where it shouldn't.
I felt like I was dying. I honestly felt like I was dying and someone was ripping out my insides.
And it was just pure blood straight out of my bladder, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life.
I just thought, okay, well, I'm just one of those people that just get sick. Maybe this is just normal for me.
At 14 years old, passing out at school, vomiting from the pain.
And I would think, I need to call the ambulance. But people would say, what's the ambulance going to do?
There's that burden that you have to prove that you're unwell because you look fine.
We don't have a growth. We can't show people what's going on inside.
Why do you need to have a day off every month? Everyone gets a period. Why do you need to have a day off every month?
Everyone has different levels of period pain. You're just going to have to live with that.
I was told that my symptoms were bad PMS and I would grow out of it.
It was, you've got irritable bowel syndrome, you've got wheat allergies, you've got everything but endometriosis.
There is no mould to women with endometriosis. I see it in women who are completely consumed with the diagnosis and what it's meant to them. I see women who are terrified by it. I see women who accept it with equanimity.
A lot of women, unfortunately, have a delay in diagnosis, and this might be because health professionals have discounted or normalised their symptoms at the start.
Women who end up diagnosed with significant endometriosis have often had symptoms for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And it's a long journey from having problems to actually being treated.
They found the 7-centimetre cyst in my right ovary. So it was only because of the removal of that then they found the endometriosis was like everywhere in my body.
You might actually have a valid reason to have a laparoscopy. I was 21 and I had been asking for 10 years.
The only way to diagnose endometriosis is to perform a laparoscopy, which is keyhole surgery, where we are able to directly visualise the structures within the pelvis and any endometriosis that might be associated. And we can also remove the endometriosis and send it off for pathological confirmation.
My specialist found endometriosis or chocolate cyst. The specialist has told me that because the endo is growing around my bowel, I might need to wear a bag for a little while. So that's something I'm definitely not looking forward to.
Endometriosis is a really paradoxical disease because the symptoms don't always match the extent of the disease. The woman with mild endometriosis might have worse symptoms than the woman with what looks like really severe endometriosis. So that point's, I think, important to clarify.
It was like somebody had grabbed me around the pelvis and was just squeezing and sticking knives in. It just was disgusting pain.
Severe abdominal pain, back pain, hip pain.
Generally, my symptoms are triggered, so anything from exercise to sitting down for long periods.
There's the picture of someone getting punched in slow motion. That point of impact is what my uterus feels like.
I have pain when anything's inserted into my vagina, so I have difficulty using tampons and having sex.
I get pain down from the side of my face and down my neck, in my collarbone, under my rib cage.
When I had my periods, pretty much constant bloating. I always look like I'm either 3 months pregnant or 7 months pregnant.
The feeling your uterus is contracting when there's no need for it to. You're not actually giving birth.
There are so many things that I've been recommended that haven't worked for me.
And I did have a lot of specialists suggest that I should get pregnant as soon as possible.
Bearing in mind I was 17 at the time.
Give me a pill that would put me in early menopause at the age of 25. Once I actually understood what that meant, it just seemed ridiculous.
Having a hysterectomy will solve all of your endo problems when that's complete lies.
Even though I've had a hysterectomy last year, it's already starting to come back. That was very, very difficult for me to accept because I thought having a total hysterectomy would be my cure.
And one of the difficult things about treating women with endometriosis is that some treatments may be effective for some women and not effective for other women.
Endometriosis ends up being more than just about their uterus or their womb. When you have someone presenting with painful periods and difficulty with their bladder and their bowel and sexual pain, I think there's a point where women can feel like, am I just unlucky?
A lot of women's symptoms might have been downplayed in the past by different medical professionals, and so they haven't been investigated or referred on appropriately because it was presumed to be a normal experience.
So it's about opening that dialogue and helping women to know that we will believe them in their symptoms, we'll take them seriously with their symptoms, and to also help them to understand that once we get the right diagnosis, that there's things we can do, we can improve this, they don't just have to live with it.
We tried to have a baby for about 8 years. We did 12 cycles of IVF.
I was told with all the scarring and stuff I wouldn't have kids.
It really started to consume us because we just wanted to have a baby.
And then I found out I was pregnant. I sat on the bathroom floor and I bawled my eyes out. I was so happy.
Being asked all the time when was I going to have children, and people thinking that there's something wrong with you or wrong with your body.
We had 3 miscarriages also. So once we decided that enough was enough, yeah, we decided to go down the adoption route.
But we did have a lot of complications, which was hard, and we nearly lost her twice. But the day she was born was like the happiest day of my life. So yeah.
A lot of the other adoptive mums that I've come to know, 9 out of 10 of those women have endometriosis, and that's why they're infertile.
Don't give up hope, because I think when we give up hope, we don't have much else left to hold on to.
When I was diagnosed, it was a relief.
oh, finally they know what it is.
It's bittersweet knowing what it is, having a name for it, but there's all the bad things that come with actually having a disease.
Thank God that it's something real.
It felt amazing. I guess because I finally had something to say what it was.
To find out that there are other women as well going through what I was dealing with, it made me feel a lot better.
It was just a relief to know that I wasn't crazy. It wasn't stress, it wasn't depression.
When you think about how many women you know in your life and to say that 1 in 10 of those would be suffering or will be diagnosed with endometriosis, that's quite shocking.
I just needed to accept that I have endometriosis and this is part of my story, my journey.
Be brave, be bold, and fight.
What I experienced for all those years is actually worth listening to.
We need to shine a light on a dark place.
People need to know about endometriosis, and we need that knowledge out there.
You'll be surprised how many people out there have it.
It's important that women feel comfortable to talk about it.
We just have to keep soldiering on. It's something that us women are pretty good at doing.
It's really important to raise more awareness about endometriosis because it is such a common condition. My patients are pretty tough, so it is very inspiring to be able to work with these women and hopefully to be able to help them.
What I would really like to see is that we help women cope day to day with what they're going through. It's knowing how to support a woman emotionally.
I'd like to go to the doctor and say, hey, something's wrong, and not feel ashamed about it. Or not get embarrassed. That would also be nice.
That's why we need to raise the awareness. Everyone all over the world can be helped, just like me.
And acknowledge the amount of strength it takes to get up every morning.
Know that it does have a name and keep pushing to see a better doctor or a specialist that will help you, because you're not meant to feel this way.
You just have to learn to cope, and you just have to put one foot in front of the other.
When we say we've got endometriosis, people won't be asking what's endometriosis, they should already know.
But someone who does have a diagnosis and is struggling, to know that they're not alone. And they're part of a very select group of women who are really strong. If I was to thank anybody, it would be my children.
My husband, my family and my friends are all really supportive.
You know, people just being there for me, listening, hugging me, you know, doing the basic things when you feel like crap.
When I thought that I was alone in my condition, just having them there and having my back just means the world to me.
My mum, she's been like so good since like the start. 13 and being in pain and like passing blood clots, like she always believed me.
My aunt, sorry. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have gotten the diagnosis I did. She's just be my own guardian angel.
I'm just so grateful that they accept me and support me wholly, and they don't see me as being in the too hard a basket.